Everyone, I'm Katja and I write books, hence Katja Write Books. Welcome. This is going to be my new vlog for writing and all that kind of stuff because I was talking to somebody else about writing vlogs and I was like, oh my gosh, I could totally do this. And I think it would be really fun because I love talking about my writing journey, as most authors do. Most writers love to talk about writing, especially with other writers. So I was like, wait, I could share mine and do this. So here I am. Anyways, so I write fantasy novels, both adult and young adult. I've had four completed manuscripts. I don't have anything published at the moment because I am pursuing traditional publishing. So I have queried all four of those manuscripts. I have had full requests for every single one, and always a very kind pass for whatever reason with it. Right now, the one I'm currently querying, I've been getting really, really kind passes like, oh my gosh, I love the voice. I love the pacing. This was so well written. Like, they were such a strong writer. But also, I don't want to actually represent you. So I'm in this very weird querying space right now. But that's fine, because when it happens, it's going to happen, and the right one will come along at some point. I hope, fingers crossed. And if not, I do have, now that I have like a better understanding of the methods of self-publishing, and being an indie author, now that I've kind of been in the game long enough, I'm very strongly considering that for at least one of my manuscripts, as I really think it would do well. But that's for future me to deal with. So right now, I am working on a novel. It's an adult fantasy novel. It's not quite an epic fantasy, but it's like epic fantasy-esque. It's got that like really big world building and lots of things happening and lots of locations and lots of characters and just all sorts of dynamics and nuances coming in there. And this is a little bit of a reboot of actually what was my second manuscript that I queried, which if you look right behind me, this binder right here that I'm pointing to, that's that original version, which is not even the original version. That's the revised version from what I actually queried. So that was 8 years ago. And I just really love this story. And 8 years ago, I thought I was talented enough and prepared enough to write it, and I was not. And so now, with all this more information and knowledge under my belt, I feel like I'm ready to tackle it. But it has just been like swimming around in the back of my mind of all the ways that I wanted to make it really shine, and I didn't know how to do that, and now I do, which is awesome, and I'm so excited for me for that because I love these characters, I love this plot line, I love the world that I created, but I was punching above my weight at that point, and now I can go back and do it justice. So it's a little bit of a reboot. There's a lot of new material coming in. There's lots of ways that I've tweaked the characters because now I understand character arcs better, and all of those things. So I'm excited for it. And basically, it's a story. It's got dragons in it because I am a dragon girly. I love me and my dragons. But there's three main points of view, and then every now and then there's the villain's point of view, and she's going to come in, and I'm so excited about that because she's like the coolest villain I have ever created in my mind, and I think she's absolutely like bonkers. She's so cool. But there is a girl, and she just wants to like live her little life and run an apothecary and help people feel better. And she's very much like Rosalie from the show Grimm, if you've ever watched that. And that's part of I think what really pushed me to redo this is that I rewatched Grimm over the summer, and I was like, oh my God, Rosalie and Monroe, like you guys are such goals. And I realized that my character was very much like Rosalie, like same energy, like just wants to like do her stuff and help people, right? But she keeps getting dragged into all these other things that are not her problem and having to deal with bigger things. So that's my first point of view. My second point of view is this young man who is just completely like at a loss for what to do with his life. He was like raised in this prominent family, and something kind of happens that's out of his control, and he gets kicked out of that family. And now he's he was being used by the military as a weapon because of like the type of magic that he has, and he was like, I can't do this anymore. Like I cannot do this and do these violent things and do this. Like his conscience just rebels about because he's just like this very soft boy. Um, and I'm saying boy and girl because originally this was a young adult manuscript, and then again now that like I have more wisdom, I'm like, yeah, no, this is definitely like this is adult. They're dealing with much bigger problems than like where the YA centers, which why I love YA. I write YA, I read it, it's fantastic. Um, but just the focus is a little bit different, right? So, anyways, um, his whole thing is he just wants to like get the hell out of Dodge. He's like, I want to be gone. I'd like to just ride off into the sunset, and nobody could ever bother me again. And also, he's like really down on his luck, and kind of living a little bit way below like where he's used to socioeconomically because he came from this like really wealthy family, and all he wants is a new pair of boots. Like that's it. That is his whole thing. So when I talk about this book, I'm always like, I just want to pitch it as like a boy who desperately needs a new pair of boots, and that's it. Will he get them? Tune in, read the trilogy, find out if he gets his new boots. Which is just a long running joke I've had with this, and I love it. So that's like a through thread. But anyways, he also wants to be left alone, but he's like actively pursuing it, whereas Rook is just like, I'm just gonna stay here, and everybody else needs to avoid me. And he's like, no, I need all these different things because I need to get out of this place, and I can only do that if I can buy my way out. So he keeps trying to, and never really goes well for him. And then on top of that, there is a dragon, and she gets a point of view. And I'm not going to tell everything about my dragons because I think that having unique dragons is a tough thing to do in this market. But I think I have very unique dragons for very specific reasons that one day, if this ever turns into something and a publisher is ever like, oh my gosh, yes, I would love to absolutely publish this, you guys will all get to see how cool my dragons are. And yeah, I know every fantasy writer says that, right? I have the coolest dragons. I do. I assure you. I think I do. But anyways, my dragon, Keirdra, is so amazing. And basically what happens to her is she gets kicked out. She is also like exiled from her clan, right? And she leaves, but she thinks that she's been exiled because it's part of a prophecy. So she is convinced that she is the chosen one, who's going to save everybody in the entire world. So I have a dragon chosen one, this man who just desperately wants a new pair of boots, and then this woman who is just like, can you just leave me alone to like run my small business, and why do I always have to save you? Like, this is ridiculous. Stop bothering me. So I love it, and I'm really excited about it, and it's kind of set in like a pre-industrial revolution-esque like second world fantasy. So there's manufacturing and things like that, but it hasn't quite turned that corner, and that's really kind of some of the impetus for some of the bigger plot things and the conflict between some different nations and what's happening. So dragons, magic, conflict, all those really good things. A super cool villain, which I'm not going to talk about her right now because she's just so cool. And I feel like I must keep some of my secrets because what else would there be, right? So that's what I'm going to do. So anyways, hi. Like I said, I'm Katja. Thank you so much for joining me. I have a great little setup here. I'm going to talk about that. So if you look at this setup, so you'll see I have my amazing planner there. It helps keep me organized. I've got my tea, which is also very important. The all-important spray bottle for when Bellamy decides to get annoying and try to interrupt me and I am working. And this is my setup. I really like it. It works for me. And then I also have some great in-house editors who I work with right here. And one of them is Chai, Oat Milk, and this guy is Bellamy. So that's it. That's my story. I'm going to dive into this revision. Right now, I'm currently at 39,068 words out of my goal of 50,000. My goal for the end of December is to reach 60,000. And you'll see I've already reached my 1,698 of my 1,000 daily session target goals. So I'm pretty excited about that, but I'm going to keep going because I have more thoughts that need to get out there. So today's going to be a big writing day for me. And I'm going to go ahead and write, and then I'm going to come back and I'll check in with y'all in just a little bit. Bye. All right, so it has been just about, it's been about 2.5 hours since I was going to focus on writing. So I did spend most of that time focused on writing. I will admit that at one point, my dog decided that he needed to go outside, and so we had to do that. And he heard me say his name, and he is coming in here right now to be like, "Why are you talking about me?" So thank you, Bellamy. You're going to get to see him live on screen in like 2 seconds. And oh no, he's just coming right in and laying down on his little doggy bed. So that's it. All right, you don't get to meet him. I'm so sorry, guys. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come on. Okay, so there we go. There's the boy. There's the boyo. There's the handsome boyo. Yes, editor-in-chief. Editor-in-chief Bellamy here. So, and then my mom called, and it was just kind of like all these tiny little things, but it didn't overall interrupt my flow. So I ended with approximately 2,037 words for that session. I'm still 500 away from actually hitting that 40,000 word mark, but that's okay. That's for another day. I'm very happy with my progress. I feel like it's going a little bit slower right now because I kind of had this realization earlier in the week that as I was adjusting these characters and making them so much more of what they're intended to be, that my one character has to have a much darker sense of humor. And he's going to be a lot more abrupt based on some of the things that he's been through and the decisions and choices he's had to make. And so I'm trying to be very aware of that as I move forward, instead of just relying on like the old version of that character, because there are things that I liked about that old version that I definitely want to keep. But he's got to become somebody completely new in this story, and it's going to be a better new. It's not like I'm not losing any of the really good stuff. I'm just making him this much more awesome. So that has slowed me down because as I move through, I have to really stop and think, wait, is this what old Finian would have done, or is this what new Finian would do? And really focusing on shifting towards that new version of him in the story. So that is how my writing has gone. I'm going to try to, I don't know if I'm going to get any writing done before Wednesday. Wednesday will probably be my next day. I am traveling that day. And so I'm really hoping that at some point during that travel, I'll get like an hour or two to just really sit down and focus and get some things out. So that is it. I plan on posting these every other week. That's the schedule I'm committing to right now because, you know, life is crazy. But we'll see. Maybe I can do extras. And I'm going to try to do like some little shorts in between now and then as well. So I know you're just all dying for more content from me. So I'll do my best, right? But thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions about writing, about my story, about the process, anything, I would love to share. Feel free to drop a comment down below, or sign up for my newsletter. And when you get my newsletter, then there's actually a little Ask Me Anything box on there that you can fill out the Google form. And I will answer you either here on the vlog or in the newsletter. Either way, but I'd love to hear from you. So thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button. Please subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.